Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com. I got a lot of information to give to you today, so we are going to jump right into it. No drama, no frills, no nothing here, Robert Anton, with your no frills commentary from a singer talking about the X Factor today. We had boot camp, they did their cuts today, and they moved on to the judges' houses, and we got a bunch of performances. So I'm going to go in and talk about what I got here in my notes for you. We had the pre-roll that was going on, right? And they had like all the first auditions and stuff like that, and they had boot camp collage and all this for the first 5 minutes, okay? And it was kind of cute, but they could have gone on through that and went on to something else. It was just so long. It seemed like it went on forever, right? So I just noticed in the pre-roll they said that we were going from 50 to 24 acts when we were actually going from 60 to 24 acts, as Simon pointed out. It was just really strange, something little, you know, I was just like, what, hold on, I thought today we're gonna have some guest mentors, Will.I.Am, Nick Jonas, Marc Anthony, and Justin Bieber. And so they were getting rid of people today, and they did it by category. And the categories are groups, young adults, over 25s, and teens. The teens being between 17 and 25. Yeah, teens, 20, okay. But anyway, so they brought out first the young adults, and they kept Cece Frey. Yay! Bring the drama, bring the drama. I love it. She broke down in tears. You know she was going to give us a little drama. And Willie Jones, Janelle Garcia, Nick YOungerman, Paige Thomas, so she was crying the whole time. When the first person got picked and she started crying, like she looked like, I'm not going to get picked, you know. And Jillian Jensen. I noticed that Sophie Simmons didn't make it, Brooke, and Lyric didn't make it. I forget her, Lyric, the woman with the thing didn't make it, right? Okay. So then they went to the over 25s. They called them all out on stage, and we found out that Jason Brock, yay, made it. Daryl Black, David Correy, Tara Simon, yay! And Tate Stevens and Vino Alan all made it. I was so happy for Vino. Freddie Combs and Jeffrey Gutt didn't make it. Jeffrey Gutt was like, oh, that's their loss. I could have won this whole thing. I was like, okay, whatever. Then we moved on to the groups, and they kept Sister C, Dope Crisis, which I don't remember seeing any performance of before, and Emblem 3, Naturally. So I was like, immediately I wrote, so they're gonna create 3 groups? So I was watching to see who wasn't trying to, you know, who was going out, who wasn't gonna be a part of the thing, to see what kind of groups they were gonna keep, what kind of people they were gonna try to keep from the groups. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. And then they went to the teens, and they kept Beatrice Miller, James Tanner, Carly Rose Sonenclar, yay! That's some of my favorite voices, right? Diamond White, yay! Reed Deming, and Arin Ray. I'm still kind of on the fence about him, just as far as being last season and all that. If you saw my other, I think he's great, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. So I was like, oh, from the teens, they're probably gonna make a bunch of the groups, and I was not wrong. The judges had naturally, supposedly had decided they were gonna send everybody home, and everybody's like, oh, crying and all that good stuff and all that. And then they said, went back and they had somebody call them out. Call out these names, we're gonna invite you back to the stage, blah, blah, blah. And they let them know that they were gonna put them in a group. I noticed Camilla, Brandon Hasson, Ali Brooke, Dinah Jane Hansen, and Armani Hamilton were several of the people that they brought out. And they told them to go into certain areas, and then they told them that they were going to be going through as groups. Then they went on to call each judge or each coach and let them know who they were going to be mentoring. And Britney Spears has the teens who she said she wanted. Simon Cowell is mentoring the groups, which he really didn't want, but he said he's going to make the most of it. And he's like, I feel happy for them. You know? Demi Lovato got the young adults, which she wanted, and LA mentored the over 25s, and he was not happy about that at all. He slammed down the phone, all dramatic and stuff like that, walked out of his office. I was just like, oh my God. And we have 3 new groups, and the new groups are Playback, Lylas, and Lyric 145. When they got to the judges' houses, of course, they met their mentors, their main mentors, and they introduced who was going to be helping them mentor. And Marc Anthony is helping Simon mentor the groups. Nick Jonas is helping Demi mentor the young adults. Will.I.Am is helping Britney mentor the young teens, and Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun, who discovered him and is his manager, is helping LA mentor the over 25s. So what tripped me out was LA was like all surly and stuff, and he told the over 25s up front that he was disappointed when he found out that he was mentoring them. And I think that really just crashed their spirit right away. They were just like, you know, just hurt, right? Just hurt. But he did tell them the truth. He said, I'm going to try to work with you guys and blah, 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 the other, but I'm making it known. I kind of respect him for that, but I feel like that was kind of like somebody on Twitter said, listen, you need to just do your damn job and mentor these people and collect that check. Which is true. He's getting a big check. Listen, y'all want another mentor? Listen, if y'all need somebody, I take $2 million for the season. I know there's a lot less than he getting. So they will all start out with 6 acts, but they will only be taking 4 acts to the live shows. So we started out at Demi Lovato's flat at her home, and she gave, you know, she met everybody, and she gave everybody a little advice before they performed. And she told Janelle that she does too much hair flipping, you know, because she said, you probably are getting nervous and you're doing a whole lot. She's like, once is enough, right? So Janelle came in to perform I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry, and she really reined in her movements for this, so much so that she lost some of that spark and sizzle that she has. I think she was just kind of nervous because Demi just told her, you know, maybe you're doing too much, baby. So she was scared to really perform it the way she performs. And Demi was looking at her and she did the hair flip, but every single time her hand went anywhere near her head, Demi flinched. She kind of like that. And I was like, oh my God, it was so funny to me because I was looking every time. If y'all had this, somebody should have been doing a drinking game. Every time her hand went like this, if it got close to her hair, Demi was like, it was very funny to me. You know, I find silly stuff funny. Anyway, she sounded good to me. Her voice, her vocal was good. It was a solid performance. I just felt that she was a lot more timid than normal. The other contestants could hear in this space, which was kind of interesting. They could hear her performing, and it seemed kind of awkward to me. Nick Jonas said that Janelle was really good. If you're enjoying this commentary, make sure to thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. Please, please, please let other people know that you are enjoying it. Also, it helps me so much just to keep my spirits up and keep me doing it, for one, because this take a lot of energy, you know what I'm saying? And also, please, Facebook, Tumblr, tweet, any of your social network sites, and you know people that are watching X Factor, tell them to come on over here and join the discussion. Moving on, Willie Jones did Nobody Knows Again by Babyface, right? And I wrote he bombed on this song in boot camp, so I guess he wanted to tackle it again. And sitting on his stool, he got into the emotion, he remembered the words this time, and his voice was resonant and centered, just so gorgeous. This was touching and intense, and it looked like Demi was gonna cry, and Nick Jonas said that he's a star, and Demi was just like, oh my God. Wonderful performance from him. Jillian Jensen was up next. She did Gravity by Sarah Bareilles. Demi told her about controlling her facial tics, basically, you know, in her performance, you know, because she said you make these faces sometimes, and so she told her, and she was giving these right before they sang. It looked like right before they walked on. So it was really kind of like, oh my God, you do that. So you don't really have time to process and all that good stuff if that's the case. And I like the roughness in her voice, but she also had a nice, sweet, soft parts throughout the song. She has this beautiful gruff, but she knows how to smooth it out a little bit to it and make it nice and pretty. I thought it was very good. Nick Jonas said that there's something sexy about her voice and the passion in it. I like those words. I like the way you talk, brother. I like the way you talk. Nick YOungerman was up next. He did TikTok by Kesha, and I loved his energy from the moment he walked in. It was just like he was up. He was like complimenting the judges, you know, just being just cool and all this different stuff. And when some music started, he's like, I love this song, you know, and just was so much into it, right? And I was thinking of the song choice, and I was like, and his moves had me smiling and laughing. And I wrote, I don't know if this was the best song choice for him, but he sure flipped it for himself. It seemed to be fit for him. Nick said he was thoroughly enjoying the performance. So I noted that Cece and Paige seem to have bonded. You know, they're making this whole little thing about them, but they seem to have bonded, and it looks like they are still roommates because they were chatting and sharing with each other. It might have been something set up by the producers, but it looks like the two of them actually are getting along, even though Cece said Paige is probably her biggest competition. So it's still kind of like, Argh! But they seem to be relating to each other and have some empathy for each other, which is very nice. So Paige Thomas was up next, and she did Turn Up the Music by Chris Brown. You see, I be wanting to sing, but I don't know. YouTube is gonna cut me off for singing some songs on this video. She did Turn Up the Music by Chris Brown, and she did a slow acoustic treatment on the song, and it was very cute and really showed that she can actually sing. Like, she can actually sing. I was like, oh, she does have a voice, because it had a lot of nice little highs and stuff that she nailed them dead on, was really good. I totally today finally saw the Rihanna comparison that other people have been talking about. Just the way that she dressed and her look and the way she sounded too was very much Rihanna. I really saw it. Demi wasn't impressed with her performance, and Paige wasn't confident about how well it went either, which was really interesting. I thought it went well. I thought she looked good. I thought maybe she was a little nervous and was showing some anxiety, but just her choices in the song and the way she approached it, I thought it showed artistry, and I thought it was very good. Cece Frey did I'm Sexy and I Know It, LMFAO. And Demi told her before she went on that she could come off unlikable. Really? Not Cece? Come on, Demi. She told her to try and show her vulnerability more on stage so people would like her, right? She gave her a note, and let me tell you, girlfriend ran with it. She ran all the way up the street with it. Why did Cece cross the road, baby? To get to the vulnerability. Let me tell you. So this song, she gave it all the almost reggae feel, right? And it was very risky, I thought. But she brought some nice melody to it. Actually had some notes that really showed off her voice in it. She really has a lot of artistry. She really does. And she really knows what her voice can do, and she has been working it every single time. The judges liked the changes she made in her attitude, and now she is bringing on the vulnerability big time, because she was in this, not even from the time she talked, she was like, and then when she told them the song, she was like, oh, it's just for fun, it's just for fun. So she is really playing it up now. I love her, I love me some Cece Frey. Tell me if you feel the same way. This girl is drama. She is an actress in the making. Let me tell you, this girl, I would be surprised if she's a triple threat, okay? So next we moved on to Simon's house, big, beautiful LA house, okay? Probably one of 10 of his houses. And we went to the groups. First up, we had a new group, Playback. They did Rich Girl by Hall & Oates, and they were a little disjointed as far as the choreography and stuff. They just kind of stand around doing their thing. But the singing was good from all of them, and they had two, not one, but two rap breaks, two different people rapping, and I thought it was very, very current. They each have such a good look, and I love their energy. It was just off the chain. It was, you see my energy, okay, their energy was my energy times 2. Each and every one of them just infectious, just infectious. Marc Anthony wasn't impressed, but Simon said they were very likable and he liked them. Emblem 3 was up next, and they did every little thing she does, just Magic by the Police. They also brought a little reggae kind of feel to this, and their harmonies were really good. But the rap guy, the guy who's doing the rap, missed his verse, so they had to go around in the music. Don't worry about it, baby. Let me tell you, I did how many performances I have gone through, and I have missed my verse. And thank God when it's a live band, because you can just be like, go around, y'all. Come and pick me up when you come back. But he felt very, very bad about it. Everybody noticed. Of course, I noticed too. You know, but it happens. It does happen. It shouldn't happen in a performance, you know, situation, but you just have to do it and keep moving. You get through it and keep on moving, continuing to give your best. Every time you mess up in any situation, you do the mess up, you forget about it, and you continue to do your best. Each moment that you work should be, the next moment should be your best moment. The next moment should be your best moment. You mess that up, the next moment is your best moment. Because you continue thinking about that mess up, you're going to get worse, or you're going to forget what you're doing, or you're not going to do as well on the rest of it. And I did felt like they continued to move forward, that, you know, that he picked it up and kept doing. To me, though, the thing is, they seemed in their interviews and everything as they were going along to be getting overconfident. And that's not good. And that is one reason that will mess you up. When you start getting overconfident, whether you believe in God or the universe or Buddha or whatever, they let you know, don't get like that, because I will smack you down in a minute. And they got smacked down pretty much in this performance. I say humbled a little bit. Marc Anthony liked them. Sister C was up next, and they did, I believe, Leaving by Shelby Lynn. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know the song. I looked it up. Simon gave them some good advice about coming off as more likable, and he told them the competition was theirs to lose. Simon told them that the competition was theirs to lose. While everybody on Twitter is saying that they don't like them and they're standoffish and they're snobbish and all this different stuff. But they are three girls, three sisters who sing together, and they've always been in a group. And you know, sometimes when you have a tight group of people, it's hard to bring in other people. But you girls are performers. You have to bring in everybody. So you have to take all this love and this empathy that you have for each other, and you have to share it with everybody else. And being three people, they should be able, once they get that thing of sharing it out to the audience, it should be very powerful, because when you've got all this here and you give it to everybody else, it should be powerful, and believe me, it comes back to you. Each girl got to come forward to sing on this one, and the last girl blew it out of the box for me. The other two were good. The last girl was amazing. Their harmony was really, really tight. Marc Anthony said they were a home run, and that performance definitely was. Lyric 45 was up next, another new group. They did Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, and I thought these two guys had gone. I thought they were gone. The ones they jumped out in the audience and did their thing, but they're not. They had to join up with Lyric. They called themselves Lyric 145, and they are all very strong rappers, and it was really nice from all of them. All of them just brought powerhouse, just powerhouse rapping to the system. None of them sang on the hook, which I thought was just a little bit, I wasn't too crazy about that. So one of them at least should have been able to sing on the hook, but they all kind of rapped it out, kind of spoke it out instead of singing, and Simon and LA both loved it. Dope Crisis was up next, and they did Super Bass, Nicki Minaj. Let me tell you the truth, y'all. My battery was dying on my laptop, and the plug wasn't acting right, and it went off. And so while they were performing, most of the time when they were performing, I was working trying to get this laptop back on. So I really I was hearing what was going on. It sounded okay for me, but neither of the coaches seemed to really care for them. I think they felt like that they've hit their ceiling. Simon said, and I had called on that by this time I was back into the mix, and Simon said, you know, that he felt like that they were struggling and they were doing their absolute best, but you know, maybe they had hit their plateau. So Lylas, another new group, did Impossible. 5 girls with my girl Dinah up in there, and each girl got to shine on this. The first girl started out, had a really nice sound, as did the second one, and I was wondering when they're gonna do some harmony, right? So when the third girl came in, they started doing a little harmony behind her. It sounded pretty good. She nailed them high notes, so she really did. And the fourth girl had a crazy voice and just did all this, and since I'm not familiar with all their names right now, so I'm just saying 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one, boom, was again one that just blew it out of the box. Just had everything going on in the vocal with the riffs and the style and the phrasing, and everything was perfect. And Dinah was up last, and she did her thing too. And when they all did the harmony together, I thought it could have been a little tighter, but I thought they really sounded good. They all complimented each other. Simon said it was unbelievable. And the funny thing is, I don't know if that's a good unbelievable or a bad unbelievable. What do you think? So we didn't find out who was going home tonight, but I liked this episode because we got a lot of performing. That is what I want to see. Oh, not so much of the drama going on. You know, we still got a little bit of drama, but mostly performing, seeing them actually work and do their thing. What did you guys think? I know this might be very long, but it was a long 2-hour show, and it was a lot to talk about, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stuck around. If you stuck around, just put down in the comments, stuck around, so that I know who stuck around. All right, I'm out. Robert Anton. Oh, and I want to remind you to remember to check out my So You Want to Be a Singer series. I have a new So You Want to Be a Singer video up called, what the heck is it called? Daily Vocal Warm-Ups, especially for my singers. Make sure to check it out. And also my originals playlist with my original music that you can pick up on iTunes anytime you want to.